Problems like this, make sure you gather all the information, understand all the information before even trying to solve the problem. So a couple of things here. The bag contains 200 coins. So that's saying, truly try to understand that. That's saying if I take the number of dimes that I have and I take the number of quarters I have, they'll add up to 200 coins. So pause there for a second and think about how you can take that information and write it down so take that information and write it down in an equation. Right, so let's call dimes, the number of dimes, D, and let's call the number of quarters, Q. So we know that the number of dimes plus the number of quarters must add up to 200. Fair enough, that's simple enough, because if I take the total number of dimes I have, total number of quarters that I have, they must add up to 200. Now, the next thing it's saying is the coins are worth $29. And it should be relatively straightforward to write an equation for this too. The quarters are all worth how much? 25 cents. So 0.25. So no matter how many, let's say if I have 4 quarters, this will make sense, right? Because that would tell me I have $1. 4 times 0.25 would be $1. Now, I don't know how many quarters I have. That was just an example. So let's write that down as 0.25Q. And also, we know that dimes are 0.1 or 10 cents. 0.1 times the number of dimes I have. And then that'll all add up to 29 because $29. So see, I have these two equations right there now. Now I can go ahead and try to use substitution and solve for it. So I'm solving for how many quarters are in the bag. So I'll solve for Q up here. I'll solve for Q. So Q will equal 200. I'm going to solve for D over here. And here's why. So if I solve for D, D will equal 200 minus Q. Now I'm going to take that D and throw it back in there. And then it'll all connect. So 0.1 times 200 minus Q plus 0.25 equals 29. 0.25 Q. Oops. 0.25 Q equals 29. Now the reason, again, to reiterate, the reason I solved for D here, see how it gave me 200 minus Q? Then I was able to plug that in. Now I'll be able to solve for Q. If I did it the other way around, I'd be solving for D first, and then I would plug it back in, solve for Q. So this is just a little bit of a time saver here. So now let's do 0.1 times 200. 0.1 times 200 will be, that's 10%, right? 10% of 200, so that'll be 20. 20 minus 0.1 Q plus 0.25 Q equals 29. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to erase that 29. I'm going to bring the rest up here. So 0.1 Q plus 0.25 Q. So negative 0.1, and I'm going to write it down as negative 0.10 Q plus 0.25 Q. Let's do that first. So that's actually going to be 0.15 Q. Make sure you get that. Make sure you get this down because I know it's decimal, so it might confuse you. 0.10 and 0.25. Remember from the basic rules, when you have a negative and you have a positive, two different signs, you always subtract. So what I did was 0.25 minus 0.10, which gave me 0.15. And I know that since the positive is the bigger number over here, this will take the positive number, okay? So that's 0.15 Q. Again, I'm going to erase this, and I'm combining this and this right now. So that'll give me 0.15 Q. And what I'm going to do is, see that 20 right there? I'm going to bring the 20 over here. So that's subtracting the 20 from here, subtracting the 20 from here. So that's 0.15 Q equals 9. That's an ugly 9. Equals 9. So divide both sides by 0.15, divide this side by 0.15, and Q will equal 9 divided by 0.15. So 9 divided by 0.15, I'm going to use my calculator for that. So 9 divided by 0.15 will be 60. So Q equals 60.